In one of the most shocking and dramatic storylines to ever unfold on ABC's General Hospital, the once beloved Willow Tate has transformed into a calculating villain capable of unspeakable acts. The recent revelation that Drew Cain has been paralyzed after Willow injected him with a toxic substance has sent shockwaves through Port Charles and the show's devoted fanbase. What makes this development even more chilling is the growing certainty that Willow has no intention of stopping until Drew is completely destroyed. As she takes him into her home under the guise of caregiving, fans are bracing themselves for what appears to be an inevitable and horrifying conclusion: Drew's death at the hands of the woman he once loved. Adding fuel to the speculation is the persistent rumor that Cameron Mathison, the talented actor who has portrayed Drew Cain since 2021, has reached the end of his contract with General Hospital. If these rumors prove true, the show may be setting the stage for Drew's permanent exit from Port Charles, making Willow's vengeful plot not just a storyline twist, but potentially the character's final chapter. The storyline took a dark and unexpected turn when Willow, consumed by rage and betrayal, made the calculated decision to poison Drew. The injection of a toxic substance left Drew completely paralyzed, rendering him helpless and dependent on others for even the most basic care. This shocking act represents a complete departure from the Willow that fans have known for years, the compassionate nurse-devoted mother and moral compass of many Port Charles residents. The paralysis itself serves as both a physical and symbolic punishment. Drew, once a strong, capable Navy SEAL and successful businessman, now finds himself completely vulnerable and at the mercy of the very person who caused his condition. The toxic injection has stripped away his independence, his dignity, and his ability to protect himself from further harm. Medical experts on the show have indicated that the damage may be irreversible, leaving Drew facing a future of complete dependency if he has a future at all. What drove Willow to such an extreme act of violence? The answer lies in a complex web of betrayal, broken trust, and emotional devastation. Drew and Willow's relationship, which began with genuine connection and passion, ultimately imploded due to lies, manipulation, and conflicting loyalties. Whether the final straw was Drew's betrayal regarding her children, his business dealings that affected her family, or a more personal act of deception, Willow clearly reached a breaking point that transformed her grief into murderous intent. In perhaps the most disturbing aspect of this entire storyline, Willow has now brought the paralyzed Drew into her own home, ostensibly to care for him during his recovery. To the outside world, this appears to be an act of compassion, a woman taking responsibility for someone in need, possibly even seeking redemption for past conflict. Friends and family members have praised Willow for her selflessness, unaware of the true nature of her intentions. However, viewers know the horrifying truth: Willow's caregiving is nothing more than a carefully constructed facade. By bringing Drew into her home, she has gained complete control over his life. She controls his medications, his food, his environment, and his access to the outside world. Drew is entirely dependent on Willow for survival, and she has positioned herself as both his caregiver and his executioner. This setup creates the perfect opportunity for Willow to finish what she started. Isolated from friends who might question his condition, cut off from medical professionals who might detect foul play, and physically unable to defend himself or call for help, Drew is now completely at Willow's mercy. The woman who once loved him now has unlimited opportunities to administer additional toxins, withhold necessary medications, or simply allow his condition to deteriorate until his body gives out entirely. The psychological torment that Drew must be experiencing adds another layer of horror to the situation. He knows exactly who poisoned him. He understands that his paralysis is not the result of an accident or illness, but a deliberate attack, and now he must lie helpless in the home of his attacker, watching her perform the motions of caregiving while knowing that each interaction could be his last. The terror of waiting for death, unable to escape or even speak out against his captor, represents a fate worse than a quick death. The inevitability of Drew's death. Based on the trajectory of this storyline, it seems increasingly clear that Drew's days are numbered. Willow has demonstrated that she is willing to cross lines that most people would never even approach. She has already poisoned him once, causing irreversible paralysis. She has isolated him from potential help. And according to the narrative being constructed, she has no intention of showing mercy or allowing Drew to survive. Several factors point to Drew's impending death. First, Willow's character has been written into such a dark corner that redemption seems almost impossible. For her to have poisoned Drew and then to be planning his murder goes beyond the typical soap opera villain territory. This is genuine criminal psychopathy. The show would need to provide an extraordinary explanation or revelation to walk back such extreme actions, and even then, many fans would struggle to accept Willow as a sympathetic character again. Second, the caregiving scenario creates a perfect narrative framework for a slow, deliberate killing. Rather than a dramatic confrontation or a moment of passion, Willow's method suggests premeditation and cold calculation. This is not a crime of rage, but of sustained intent. Each day that passes with Drew in her care brings him closer to death, whether through additional poisoning medical neglect or more direct methods. Third, the isolation of Drew eliminates the possibility of rescue or intervention. In typical soap opera fashion, heroes are often saved at the last moment by friends, family, or law enforcement. However, Drew's paralysis prevents him from communicating his situation, and Willow's respectable position in the community provides her with cover. No one suspects that the caring nurse is actually a calculating killer, which means no one is looking for signs of foul play. Cameron Mathison's contract status fact or fiction. Adding another dimension to this storyline is the persistent rumor that Cameron Mathison's contract with General Hospital is coming to an end. While ABC and the show's producers have not officially confirmed these reports, the entertainment industry rumor mill has been churning with speculation about Mathison's future on the show. Cameron Mathison joined General Hospital in 2021, taking over the role of Drew Kane from Billy Miller, who had tragically passed away. Mathison brought his own interpretation to the character, emphasizing Drew's honor, military background, and complicated relationships with the Quartermain family and the women of Port Charles. His portrayal earned him a dedicated fan base, but soap opera contracts are notoriously fluid, with actors frequently moving between shows or departing for other opportunities. If the contract rumors are true, the timing aligns perfectly with the current storyline. Soap operas often write out characters when actors' contracts expire, and a dramatic death provides a memorable exit that serves the ongoing narrative. Drew's death at Willow's hands would certainly qualify as a shocking and unforgettable conclusion to his time in Port Charles. However, it's important to note that contract negotiations in the soap opera world can be complex and unpredictable. Actors sometimes renegotiate and stay beyond their original contract terms, while others who were expected to remain suddenly depart, until there is official confirmation from ABC, Cameron Mathison, or General Hospital's producers. The status of Drew's character remains speculative, albeit increasingly dire given the current plot developments. The moral complexity understanding Willow's transformation. While Willow's actions are undeniably horrific, the show has attempted to provide context for her psychological breakdown. Understanding what drove a compassionate nurse and loving mother to become a poisoner and potential murderer adds depth to what could otherwise be a one-dimensional villain arc. Willow's character has endured tremendous trauma throughout her time on General Hospital. She has faced a cancer diagnosis that threatened her life and her ability to be there for her children. She has navigated complex family dynamics, including the revelation of her true parentage and her connection to the notorious Quartermain family. She has experienced betrayal in her romantic relationships, struggled with issues of trust and loyalty, and made difficult choices regarding her children's welfare. Drew's betrayal, whatever its specific nature, apparently represented the final breaking point. Perhaps he endangered her children? Perhaps he lied about something fundamental to their relationship. Perhaps his actions threatened everything she had worked to build and protect. Whatever the catalyst, it shattered something essential in Willow's psyche, transforming grief and anger into a cold desire for revenge. The show's writers have crafted Willow's descent into darkness as a gradual process rather than a sudden shift. Viewers have watched as her moral boundaries eroded, as her justifications for increasingly extreme actions grew more elaborate, and as her ability to empathize with others diminished. This careful character development makes her current actions more believable within the context of the show, even as they shock and disturb the audience. As this storyline unfolds, the reactions from other characters in Port Charles will be crucial. Currently, most of Drew's friends and family members are unaware of the true nature of his condition or the danger he faces. Michael, Drew's nephew and Willow's husband, presumably believes that Willow is performing an act of charity by caring for Drew. Carly, Drew's former love and close friend, may have concerns about his sudden paralysis, but likely hasn't connected it to Willow's involvement. When the truth eventually comes to light, as it inevitably will in soap opera fashion, the fallout will be explosive. Michael will face the devastating realization that his wife is a poisoner and murderer. Willow's children will grow up knowing that their mother committed heinous crimes. The Quartermaine family will demand justice for Drew, and the entire community of Port Charles will be forced to reconcile the image of Willow as a compassionate caregiver with the reality of her as a cold-blooded killer. From a fan perspective, reactions have been equally intense. Social media platforms have exploded with discussions about this storyline, with viewers expressing shock, outrage, fascination, and concern. Some fans appreciate the bold storytelling choice and the complexity it brings to Willow's character. Others feel that the transformation is too extreme and inconsistent with her established personality. Many are mourning the potential loss of Drew as a character, particularly those who have enjoyed Cameron Mathison's portrayal. The legal and medical implications. Beyond the emotional and relational consequences, Willow's actions carry serious legal implications. Poisoning someone is attempted murder, and if Drew dies, Willow will be guilty of premeditated first-degree murder. The evidence against her would be substantial medical records, showing the presence of toxins in Drew's system, her access and opportunity as his caregiver, and potentially witnesses who observe suspicious behavior. However, Willow's medical background also provides her with knowledge and skills that could help her evade detection. As a trained nurse, she understands how to administer substances in ways that might avoid immediate detection. She knows which medications and toxins can mimic natural medical conditions. She can create plausible explanations for Drew's declining health that might satisfy casual observers. The medical community in Port Charles will eventually play a crucial role in uncovering the truth. Doctors like Terry Randolph or hospital staff who review Drew's case may notice inconsistencies or suspicious patterns in his treatment. Toxicology reports could reveal substances that shouldn't be present in his system. And if Drew's paralysis progresses to death, an autopsy would likely expose the presence of poisons and the true cause of his demise. As this devastating storyline continues to unfold, fans of General Hospital are preparing themselves for what appears to be the inevitable Drew Kane's death at the hands of Willow Tate. The paralysis caused by her initial poisoning was just the beginning of a calculated plan of revenge that will likely culminate in murder. By bringing Drew into her home under the pretense of caregiving, Willow has created the perfect scenario to finish what she started without interference or suspicion. The rumored end of Cameron Mathison's contract adds weight to the speculation that Drew's time in Port Charles is truly coming to an end. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the alignment of storytelling and contract timing suggests that viewers should prepare to say goodbye to a character who has been central to many important storylines since his reintroduction to the show. What makes this storyline particularly compelling and disturbing is its exploration of how trauma, betrayal, and rage can transform even the most compassionate person into someone capable of unspeakable acts. Willow's journey from beloved nurse to calculating killer serves as a dark meditation on the fragility of morality and the devastating consequences of unchecked vengeance. As Port Charles braces for the revelation of Willow's crimes and the likely death of Drew Kane, General Hospital continues to demonstrate its willingness to take risks with beloved characters and push storylines into genuinely dark territory. Whether this bold narrative choice will ultimately be celebrated or criticized by fans remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the twisted tale of Willow's revenge and Drew's tragic fate will be remembered as one of the most shocking chapters in the show's long and storied history.